Now we're in Joplin, Missouri, right here on Route 66. Town sort of wore out, but it's still going. So if you want a good deal on cars on Route 66, just come on out here. Bring a bunch of money. You could probably buy a whole bunch. Look at this. For sale. $758. 68 Dodge Polara. Runs great. Classic car. Jann Scott from Highway Route 66 across America, where old American cars are dirt cheap.
Get your kicks on Route 66.
Well, that's it here from the Joplin 66 Speedway. First time back on a dirt track in a long time. I took the old Bronco 2 out, and we made tracks. We made dirt tracks. We ran about 40 miles an hour on this 3/8 mile oval. Jann Scott on Route 66. This is the Spring River Power Plant. Straight out of a 1930s horror movie, don't you think? Hi folks, how you doing?
We left here, my wife and our first oldest son, which is only about 11, we traveled 66 to California from here in 52, September of 52.
Who were the Kessler brothers?
Eisler Brothers.
Eisler Brothers.
They're the ones that own it.
They own this
place?
place?
They own the business, yeah.
They do it?
Scott's the manager of it.
And who are you? You're not an Eisler?
No, I'm an Elson. It's my wife's sister.
Oh.
It's her son. Actually, the mother owns it.
I'm the president of the Kansas Association, Route 66 Association here in Kansas. The store was built in 1925, and it actually was started as a fruit stand by a man and his wife, Leo and Laura Williams.
Yeah.
And they ran it, for years until I think he died later on, and it maybe once or twice changed hands. But Laura ran it until about 1970, and she sold it. She was probably in her 70s, close to 80, and then my aunt and uncle, after part of the noise of Route 66. But anyway, as my aunt and uncle bought the store in 1973, the Eislers, and that's where the Eisler brother name comes in. And I manage it for them. And
you manage this store? Yes. You make a living here?
Yeah. So, well, of course I do other things besides manage the store too. But yeah, it's, makes it employs like 7 or 8 people.
Right.
So
your dad works here too?
Yeah, I've got a dad and a sister. Then there's 2 or 3 different ladies in town that work here.
How big is Riverton?
It's not incorporated, but they're right at probably 1,000 people.
1,000 people. So there's quite a bit of local traffic here tonight. Why is there so much? 'Cause some parts of the road are totally dead.
This section of 66 is a main feeder road into Joplin, Missouri.
From where?
From anywhere. I mean, it's from southeast Kansas. This is the one road that goes into Joplin. Well, there's 2, but this is the only 4-lane road that hooks into Joplin from Kansas. So there's a lot of traffic. Maybe about 15,000 cars go by here a day, at least on any given weekday.
This is the last Rainbow Bridge on Route 66, the last of its kind. It's in Kansas on 13.2 miles of Route 66.
Get your kicks on what's left. 66. Now that desert goes on and on with distant peaks and blown tires leading away. You buy Indian cigarettes with puppies, no tax.
Dorothy Amplet.
Where are we here?
We're in Quapaw, Oklahoma.
Okay.
Downtown Quapaw, USA.
Quapaw, USA on Route 66. Now, what about this sign behind us?
Okay,
the old mural?
The mural on the side is our railroad station. We're the prairie hay capital of the world. and that was the shipping point, but it was about 7 blocks to the west of us was the rail station, and then the service station was a city service station, and it was moved up on Main Street when 66 went through here, and Ed Bergraff was the owner, and it's still in the family.
Now, are you a family member?
No, I'm not.
Then did you grow up here?
I grew up here, went to school here, and been working for the company 34 years.
Oh, 34 years, oh my God, you started as a child.
Yes.
What about child labor laws? Were they in effect?
No, afraid not.
All right, now one other question. What about, here, I'm going to step right here. What about the light? There's supposed to be that light that's supposed to be in town. Is there this dancing ball of light? Anybody know
The spook
anything?
light.
Huh?
The spook light?
Spook light, yeah, what the heck's that?
I never saw it.
You never saw it?
No, it's
just a legend?
It's a legend.
Yeah. It's supposed to be this dancing UFO people probably like it. Of course, I don't believe in such things. It's supposed to be some kind of alien spook light that comes.
Yeah, it's about 7 miles east of here in the country area.
Yeah, it's total nonsense. Probably some people got drunk and they see it every time they drive home, huh?
I don't know.
Well, this is very nice.
I'm not that brave to go out there and find it.
Now, they have murals all over town, huh?
Right.
Is there some famous artists here, or just folks that really are good artists? Is that it?
The artwork that's down on the laundry building was done by a local girl, local lady. But these done for the company was an art student from the University of Arkansas.
So that's good. Very nice. Thanks for coming out here. I'll show you guys the postcard. I have it in my pocket. Maybe we'll probably put in a better cover shot of it, but here it is. That's the old gas station that used to be there a long time ago, huh?
That's it.
Well, thank you very much.
They sold ice and coal, summer and winter,
Ice and coal.
tires and fuel.
Yeah. Thank you very much.
Well, thank you. Welcome to Quapaw.
Get your kicks on Route 66. It was
the manager of the Coleman Theatre in Miami, Oklahoma, which is in the process of being restored.
Had the Three Stooges here. Tom Mix has been here. The big orchestras that have been here.
Tommy Dorsey and Guy Lombardo orchestras have been here twice, and the big one was Sally Rand, the fan dance gal.
And will they be back, Tommy Dorsey? And
someday, yeah. I won't have them for a while because you can oversaturate your market here.
Next, we're going to go inside and sing the great song Oklahoma. Right? Can we do it?
Yeah, we can do it to the organ, the original
okay.
organ.
My first time on stage. Big 1,600 seats. Wait till you see this theater. It is killer. One of the nicest theaters we've seen on Route 66.
It's referred to as the crown jewel of Oklahoma right now. And we're not restored yet. We're getting there, though.
Oh, and it looks
You
beautiful.
got $1 million in your pocket, we'll finish it off in 2 years.
Come on inside.
Okay. The Coleman Theatre was built by George L. Coleman Sr. at a cost of $590,000. It is presently insured for $5.4 million. Mr. Coleman made his fortune up north of town here in the lead and zinc mines, which was an average income of $40 to $50 million a year in the 20s and 30s, up through the 40s. It ended in World War II when we didn't need any more lead for bullets in there.
Where are we going?
We're just going to go wander through here. You might want to take a shot of this. This is the original end piece from the original chair that was in the auditorium. We will be restoring that eventually. And here's a sample of the original carpet on the floor that has the Coleman coat of arms in it.
Oh, yeah.
And you'll see here one corner a pick and shovel. That's how he made his money.
Oh, yeah.
Going into the main auditorium now.
Okay.
Originally, the auditorium had a seating capacity for 1,600 people, with 900 downstairs and 700 on the balcony level. At this point, we only seat on this level. The seats in the balcony were taken out in 1972. The stained glass windows above that you see above here, the light fixtures are not original. They are being restored at this moment in Baxter Springs, Kansas. And as soon as those are replaced, then he'll restore the ones down front here. Mr. Coleman was an avid believer in movies and vaudeville. He owned 2 other movie houses in town at the time when he built this one, but he didn't have a place for vaudeville. And he was very popular in Hollywood. He knew people like Bing Crosby and Bob Hope, quite often played golf.
But this is a little bitty town.
That doesn't make any difference. He wanted the best for Miami, Oklahoma.
Where would people,
where they come from?
No, stay right there.
Well, but keep in mind at the time that the mining business was an enormous business here, and
you're talking $40 and $50 million a year income with a huge staff of people and miners from all over, and he wanted the best for them to have a place to come and have entertainment of all kinds.
Who would come to the theater?
the miners.
A lot of miners and locals, and we got people from Joplin, Pittsburgh, Kansas, Tulsa, Oklahoma, Bartlesville. We play that organ and they come out of the woodwork. They even come from Denver, believe it or not.
Is it right now?
Yes. I got a guy coming from Denver. I got 2 or 3 coming from Dallas, Texas, from Wichita, Kansas City, Bella Vista, Arkansas, just to hear the organ.
Can you play anything right now?
You betcha I can. It's electronic switching devices instead of pneumatic wiring. It's 973 sounding pieces of equipment with over 42,000 combinations that could be made on this computerized keyboard. And because of its electronic switching, all the information is put onto a floppy disk, and the floppy disk then will play this pipe organ without anybody actually sitting at the keyboard.
All right, let's roll them.
All right, here we go.
We know we belong to a land, and the land we belong to is grand. And when we say,
I don't know what he's doing here. Well, we're doing this up, aren't we?
Well, that's swell. Right here at the
Coleman Theatre.
Coleman Theatre in Miami, Oklahoma. Ladies and gentlemen, on Jen Scott tonight. Route 66, we bring it all to you.
Hi,
Meatloaf Dinner High. Tell us where we are.
you're at Woody's Cafe in Miami, Oklahoma.
How long has it been here?
About 50 years.
50 years? Mm-hmm. And is it famous?
Yeah.
Why?
It's famous for our chili. Best chili in town.
Is it the official Route 66 cafe?
Yes, it is.
Mm-hmm. Okay, tell me about the first time you traveled on Route 66.
I don't know what year it was. We left here in the 40s and went out there. We had a 1936 DeSoto. We went from here to Phoenix, Arizona by way of Tucumcari. So part of the trip was on 66. I don't remember too awful much about it. I was just, I don't know, 10, 12 years old maybe.
How many times have you traveled up and down Route 66?
Oh my God. That's hard to say because they built new highways. They called it Route 66, but it wasn't the original Route 66. I don't know, 20 times maybe.
Did you ever drive a big truck on it?
Oh yeah.
What was that like?
Well, like I say, it wasn't the original Route 66.
You ever drive a big truck on the narrow part?
No, I don't think I have. I don't think I have.
We just drove down through Missouri. Now that highway is narrow coming through Missouri. You have to stop if you meet a truck and let them come by.
Yeah. It's narrow. The bridges are narrow, the roads are narrow. They got to stretch out. What, west of town?
Yeah, just past
West of town. Past the fairgrounds out there. That's it's built for Model A's. It's what, about 8 feet wide.
the old highway.
Yeah, it's pretty narrow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wonder how wide Model A's were. They weren't very big, were they?
6 foot maybe?
The size of a
Maybe
flying
wide.
They didn't go very fast.
They could do 45, 50 mile an hour.
How fast did the 36 DeSoto go?
About 80.
Is that right?
About 65, 70, somewhere in there. That's the fast cars back in the 30s.
Hey, where's your child?
Well, we're in baseball country. This is Afton, Oklahoma, 1975 champions. And Mickey Mantle was born just a few miles up the street in Commerce. This is baseball country in Oklahoma on Route 66.
That 66 highway is a hard old road. All day you're burning and all night you freeze. But we gotta have work, so we're taking a chance from old Oklahoma to Los Angeles, where the wind it blows and the dust gets black, and now we're known as refugees. And we're stranded now on that 66
too, right here. And see the radio? Can't even figure out what station it is. On Route 66 in Oklahoma, we are definitely in cowboy country. We are near where Will Rogers was born. Lots of cowboys around and lots of old-time country music. The famous hotel named for Will Rogers in Claremore. Interesting thing about Oklahoma, okay, and Claremore. Claremore, of course, is Will Rogers' boyhood hometown. He grew up right around here. A couple things to know about Oklahoma. Frank Phillips started the Phillips 66 gasoline company here, and then he named it 66 after the highway. Will Rogers, Woody Guthrie, Mickey Mantle, all from Oklahoma. The first transcontinental race, foot race by people, took place on Route 66, and a guy right here from Claremore won it, and he won $25,000 in 1928. That's a lot of money back then. Okay, also, this highway was the Mother Road, as John Steinbeck called it. I'd like to call it the Pun Road because it's loaded with all kinds of puns. But people from Oklahoma and Arkansas traveled this highway all the way to California during the Dust Bowl years. Of course, you all know that, but maybe some of you don't know it. And then, of course, this is the famous Will Rogers Hotel. This Indian painting's been here for just ever. They're redoing the hotel. Jann Scott on Route 66, headed toward Tulsa. This is one of the books we've used. This is Michael Wallace's Route 66, The Mother Road. It's one of the more famous books on the highway. We've used some others in past shows, but this is a good one. Next, we go to the J.M. Davis Gun Museum, which has 6,000 guns here in Claremore on Route 66 in Oklahoma.
We have 20,000 pieces in our museum, which are not all guns. We have about 8,000 other things. They were all collected by J.M. Davis, who was just simply a good citizen of Claremore. He started collecting all this when he was only a boy of 7. Collected right up to the day he died at 86 years old. That was in 1973.
He was a gun nut. He was like
yes.
the gun nut of gun nuts.
Oh, absolutely.
20,000 guns? No.
When he was living, he had about 30,000. We have lots of newspaper articles in the museum telling that. He loved to collect. During those Depression years, he had opened this museum in 1916. Along came the 20s and 30s, and everybody's destitute. So they just simply, knowing that he collected, came into his hotel, offered their lifetime collections to him for a place for the family to live and eat until they could find some work. So he did a lot of trading during that time.
Okay.
We have hung a few of his pieces here behind his front desk to show you a little of how it looked in the hotel, because he displayed all 30,000 pieces right there in his hotel. Everything in
This is the biggest gun museum in the country?
It is the largest in the world. Still is, and we have lots of foreigners that come in from other countries, and they have nothing like it there.
Are there any guns that have ever committed like a major crime or been involved in shootouts? Or
certainly.
What do you got?
Pretty
Boy Floyd? That's his gun?
He was a bandit, right, in Missouri, Kansas City, Missouri. And we have 2 of his pieces here. And then everybody knows Bonnie Parker. She was a gun moll.
Oh my God.
One of the toughest gangs.
Bonnie and Clyde, huh?
Yes, definitely, yes. Okay. If you'll follow me over here, we have the Desert Storm display. This was a donation because J.M. Davis died in 1973 before Desert Storm. But here you see Saddam. Next to our Desert Storm display is another case which was donated, and these are memorabilia from the Korean and the Vietnam era. And you can see the coolie hat.
Sure, right there. See it? Open this. And oh, look at what is this? That's a North Korean model AK assault rifle. Oh, there's a Chinese rifle. This is a North Vietnamese uniform, isn't it?
Right.
Sure is. Somebody must have brought that home, huh?
Somebody did, right.
In fact, that was an officer's helmet. Looks like it. This guy's pretty decorated. Remember Oliver Stone's Natural Born Killer? Shot here on Route 66. Remember this warehouse scene where they went in for the snake bite? At this drug warehouse, except in that movie it was called the Drug Zone. Incidentally, we're talking with Michael Wallace. We're here in Pryor off of Route 20, 17 miles this side of Route
Claremore.
66. Yeah, Claremore.
Rogers County, yeah. We're over in the next adjoining county.
He's going to speak to these folks in the church, and we kind of cornered him outside here on the sidewalk.
It's actually going to be a fundraiser for the library here in Pryor, and they're all excited. They've had posters up and so forth, so I slipped over here off the route to preach the gospel of the Mother Road to the good folks in Pryor.
I ran into the Wayside Inn. You ever run into that lady over there?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Sure.
In the Ozarks, and you go, there's a wood stove in there and everything.
Yeah.
And they said to me, well, we're hillbillies here. And I looked at her and I said, well, we like hillbillies. I thought we were going to die when we walked in there. It's pretty back country.
Oh, yeah. Well, that's the beauty, though, of Route 66. Between Chicago and Santa Monica, you come across so many different types of country, different types of terrain, different types of cuisine, different types of music, different types of folks, yet they all have this common thread, that old varicose asphalt and concrete that sort of ties them together.
Yeah, it's kind of fun. I traveled Route 66 when I was a kid, and my mom had a new 56 T-Bird, and we traveled it in 57 and 58.
Good years.
Yeah.
That old incarnation. Almost as good as this current incarnation, which I guess I'm getting the biggest, pardon the pun, kick out of, and that's this Renaissance revival period, which seems to be really have legs of its own.
See, they still have loud mufflers out here. All across Oklahoma, Missouri, Illinois.
Right.
In Boulder, we do not have that. We have BMWs. Things are very quiet.
Yeah, no, it's a little more open out here, shall we say. Yeah.
Okay, so what do we want to talk about? Should we talk about your Marine Corps experiences? You were in the Marine Corps. Has anybody ever interviewed you about that? No.
Oh, they've interviewed me about my different, of course I grew up on 66, so
Where did you grow up?
I grew up really just outside of St. Louis, and I was born, that's what I'm going to speak about today, near a very old original alignment of 66 now called Manchester Road, just about as far, as you'll hear me say, as Stan Musial could throw a hard ball off a stretch of 66.
We actually ate the custard over at Ted Drew's custard stand. and
I was weaned on that custard.
That was real. It was authentic. It was great.
Oh, yeah. Well, there's so much out there that's authentic. I think that's probably the secret of the success of this Renaissance movement. There's a lot of new things, thank God, because we need more and more echoes of the old road, but also, thankfully, for every old icon that we've lost, we've had 2 or 3 resurrected, like the Blue Whale, which is now resplendent again.
Is that right?
Okay. Just gorgeous. I was just out there with the governor, and we topped it off. It's looking good. The Rock Cafe resurrected again. Up and down the road. So it's very good that all these places are coming back to life. Yeah, I'm glad you got to Ted Drew's. It's a very good spot.
That was fine. I've had a lot of fun. I particularly like driving. I didn't so much like the road between down through Missouri. Some off-camera conversations. People were calling it, the Blood Road, or they were calling this Bloody Corner.
Right.
In Riverton, one guy came up and he said, this bridge has killed more people.
That's the reality. I'm not a Chamber of Commerce guy on the road either. It's not all roses. There's some thistles as well.
Yeah.
I think we tend to, as a sort of a part of human survival, edit out some of the bad memories, the overheated radiators, the detours, the speed traps, the bloody curves. Every state, even Kansas with only its small span, had a bloody stretch of 66. But there's something in that too. There's also a lot of safe adventure in that road, because that road still remains very unpredictable. And that's what keeps bringing us out there.
If you travel it with a Honda, as an example, or a Ford, one of the very small cars, it's probably about the same width of a Model A, because some parts of it were designed for very small and slow cars. 45 miles an hour originally?
Yeah. And you had to take those curves. because of the technology of the day when it was being engineered, and through the 20s into the 30s, it took till late 30s to pave the whole road. Yeah. Because of the engineering and technology, they had to go through these towns, and they had to go around mesas and buttes and hills and streams and so forth. It just didn't plow through like the impersonal interstates, you see? So that makes it a very interesting path to take.
Michael Wallace has a book which is called
Route 66, The Mother Road.
The Mother Road. We showed that to you earlier as one of the guidebooks that we've been using.
Really intended as a guidebook. Yeah. It's unabashedly a love letter to the highway.
Wasn't it? Was it nominated for a Pulitzer?
Yes, it was I'm proud to say my first of 3 Pulitzer nominations. Yeah, and it was also a nomination for the National Book Award, and it's now sold 500,000 copies, and it keeps going on and on. It's sort of become like a high school yearbook. People carry it up and down the road and get signatures from everyone.
The economy on some of the towns along Route 66. I first traveled on Route 66 3 years ago. Places like Winslow, Arizona, McLean, Texas, really dying. Some of them are coming back.
Both those towns are back stronger than ever. Williams, Arizona, booming. In Winslow, they just are doing work right now on the old La Posada Harvey House. They've secured it. It's bought. The museum's going. You can still stand on the corner as the Eagles did. Winslow is booming. McLean, 2 museums now. A new motel just opened.
Well, look, you can take a nap on Main Street in McLean now.
McLean is great. It's like the scene. It's like the set from the last picture show, and it's quintessential Panhandle, Texas.
Busy highway that rolls clear to the coast from Chicago town down to Los Angeles. Well, it's called Will Rogers. I've traveled that road from Chicago town down to Los Angeles. The 66 highway, the Will Rogers Road, it's lined with jalopies as far as you can see, with a mighty hot motor